am more people not buying my product or service? You may be asking yourself that. Many people are. Today, I want to unpack one principle and 5 easy fixes that can help you transition from feeling invisible to being irresistible. But first, you know what to do. Help us grow the channel. Subscribe, click on the bell. Welcome to Headspace. So why are more people not buying your product or service? Headspace is all about leveraging transformative ideas. So here's the one transformative idea for you. You may be an entrepreneur, business owner, consultant, professional. You're in the marketplace, right? You're here to offer something of value so people can buy it, service or product. Many people, I would say maybe most people, I would venture to guess, have this strange aversion to marketing and sales. And here's the one thing I want to tell you. If you don't find a cure to this aversion, you will never reach your potential. You have to transition from having this low-grade, I don't like sales attitude to, I love marketing, I love sales. And I'll tell you why. In the purest form, marketing and sales is value communicated at scale. I'll repeat it again for you. Value communicated at scale. So if you really truly believe what you're offering, a service or a product, has value, you have to be able to embrace, explore, perfect your ability to communicate that value at scale. It's not about convincing people that they need to change their minds and spend their money on something they don't want, need, or can't afford. It's about communicating, this is going to improve your life, and this is how. That's marketing in its purest form. And if you don't find a cure to this aversion to marketing and sales, you'll never reach your potential as a professional. That's really the truth. So I've been working on this for years and years and years and doing better and better and better at it. Well, I lead into it because we do marketing, right? But it's a transformative thing to be able to shift essentially a fundamental belief of what it is that you're supposed to be doing here. Fall in love with marketing, fall in love with sales, learn the art and the science of it, and you will reach your potential in whatever field we're talking about. So let's talk about the 5 reasons why more people are not buying your products and services. I developed this conversation framework stating that what makes a good conversation work, it's what makes marketing work. I developed it because we do a lot of consulting, marketing, coaching, and it's really important to get to the very core of things because once you get there, you can fix things in a very disciplined and clear manner. So it's amazing what you can do with this very simple framework. Reason number 1, you look unremarkable and you look confusing. So before you get offended, let me explain. You're scanning the room, you're at this reception, and you see somebody's like wearing pajamas, for example, right? You're probably not going to gravitate towards talking to that person. And there's a reason why people don't just roll out of bed and go to receptions. Why? Because they understand that first impressions matter. And the reason why this is really important to understand, although this is such a basic example, is that there's this, our brains are wired for a thing that researchers have called and labeled cognitive evaluation, which basically means you're going down the street, you go to a reception, in whatever setting, your brain is always scanning the horizon and making an impression and basically putting whatever the brain sees into a box in a category and sort of labeling it a certain way. The brain is evaluating the other person. It's a first impression thing. It doesn't mean you're judgmental, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, but first impressions matter. So how does that translate into marketing? Well, if somebody is comparing 2 or 3 services, 2 or 3 products, or simply just there's a recommendation and they open the website for your business, your website looks confusing, it's not clear what you do, and unremarkable, it doesn't stand out in comparison to others, right? How does that work? Well, it can be too busy, the structure is not good, it doesn't make an impression, it doesn't stand out, it's just confusing. And research has shown that you have 6 seconds exactly before people put you in a category, put you in a box, and sort of move on, close the window. In social media, it's 3 seconds before you get somebody's attention. So If you come across as confusing or unremarkable, you have 6 seconds, and then the person who might be engaging with your product or service is gone. They're not interested at all. Here's an exercise that you can do to help you understand, especially if you're a new business, you're developing something new, you're a startup leader, we work with a lot of startup leaders. Whatever your asset is, your pitch deck or your marketing or your website, send it to 6 people that know nothing about what you do. It could be relatives, distant relatives, colleagues, things like that. And basically, but send it to them and say, look, I want you to help me out with this. You don't know anything, you don't know about this thing that I'm doing. Click on this link, and then exactly after 6 seconds, close the window, and then shoot me a text or email on what you understood from 6 seconds about what I do. And then you'll get a lot of really good feedback, and you'll understand that sometimes, and oftentimes, I would even say the majority of times, you look confusing and unremarkable, and that's the #1 reason why more people are not buying your products or service. Reason number 2 why more people are not buying your products or service is that you come across as self-focused. Again, don't be offended, let me explain. Imagine you're in a conversation, you made it past the first impression phase, and all the other person wants to talk about is themselves. You're probably not going to stay in that conversation. So in your marketing assets, it could be a pitch deck, a website, a video. If all you talk about is you and how awesome you are, that actually comes across as self-focused. Let me give you a conversational example. If I'm at a party and I'm doing small talk, which is the essence of small talk, is finding what the other person cares about. If I'm in a party and we're doing small talk and you bring up the Godfather, the film, which I happen to think is the best film ever made, I immediately perk up, right? So now I'm engaged. Now I want to stay in the conversation. Like there's other things, other distractions there, but I want to stay with you because you seem like you like the Godfather. It's sort of the same thing in marketing, is being interested in the other person, and that coming across all of your marketing efforts, all of your messaging, all of your assets. And the principle here is that interested people are interesting people. Interested people are interesting people. So if you demonstrate, give me this feeling as a consumer, as a potential client, that you're interested in me, my needs, my pain points, that you know them, right? That gets me in the conversation. I don't just want to buy a drill. You're selling drills. I'm not here to buy a drill. I'm here to make a hole. And more specifically, maybe what are the things that irritate me about drills in general, because I do want to make a hole, but I want to make it in a way that it's easier, more convenient. I don't have to recharge the battery. Maybe the bits are easier to. So you're showing me that you've listened to me, you know already what I'm interested in. So you are not self-focused, and that comes across in your marketing, in your communication, in your messaging. Reason number 3 why more people are not buying your products and services is that you don't contribute to the conversation. Let me bring my Godfather example again. So I'm in conversation. I made it past the first impression phase. I made it past, I want to talk to you phase because you like the Godfather and so do I. And nothing else is added. It fizzles out. But if I offer delightful details about the Godfather, the things that the other person didn't know, the other person leans in, they share with me. Now we're both contributing to the conversation, and the conversation evolves, and you want to stay there, stay in a conversation. Now, how does that translate into marketing? Well, you communicate that you care about what they care about, you add dimensionality, and you educate them, right? And this can be done in a very wide range of methods and sort of delivery methods and mediums in marketing. But the idea is that you perceive your potential client as somebody you're having a delightful conversation with, and you want to contribute to the conversation. You want to educate them. You want to offer them all kinds of free, awesome, fun advice. Reason number 4 where more people are not buying your products and services is because you're not offering them a map of the promised land. I'll explain. The best conversations are when you're talking to somebody and you geek out on something specific, you have the first impression, then you go deeper, and then that somebody gives you a map, something special, something that you walk away from enlightened, educated, perhaps even called to action and motivated to do something different. In the example of the Godfather, imagine if somebody says, beyond the sort of the trivia, the useless trivia of us exchanging and sort of having fun with it, I can tell you how Francis Ford Coppola, the creator, the director, the genius behind The Godfather, went from almost being fired off the movie during the first filming of the movie to getting 11 Oscar nominations, and what that journey was and how he became Francis Ford Coppola. Whoa, now you've added a map to the promised land for me. I can take something from that, actually apply it to my life. In marketing, but basically what you do is you offer clear ways, multiple clear ways to for you to solve their problem, right? This is how what we do can solve your problem. Way number one, way number two, way number three. And you make it clear, compelling, crisp, inspiring. They leave motivated and called to action. That's just amazing. And when you don't do that, when you don't offer them the map to the promised land, they might actually like you, but they won't buy from you. They won't contract you. They won't hire you. Reason number 5, why more people are not buying your products and services, is that you are not yet recognizable. Where you enter a party and you see somebody where there's a crowd around them, it means that person has a reputation, right? If I go to a party and of all people on the planet, there he is in the corner holding a champagne glass, Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Godfather, guess what I'll do? I will make a beeline. I will talk to him. I will ask him questions. I'll try to maybe bring him a platter of barbecue or something. Why is that? It's because he has already added value to my life. I know who he is. There's no small talk necessary. I know the questions I will ask him. And I know how he can benefit me and my life by just talking to me and telling me some stories, right? It's sort of the same thing with marketing. Let me give you an example of one of my favorite marketers. His name is Seth Godin, and he gave this brilliant example of what a brand means. He says, we all know what the Hyatt hotel chain is, right? The Hyatt hotel chain and Apple, it's a computer store, right? They make electronics. Now, if Apple were to start a hotel chain, we can easily imagine what that experience would be like, even though they've never had hotels. But if Hyatt starts a computer company, no one really knows what would that look like. And the reason for that is because Apple has a brand and Hyatt has a logo. And that is the difference between a good business and a great business. A great business has a reputation, a cultural sort of layer. They're recognizable. People go and get what they have to offer because they have already enriched their lives in so many different ways, right? So if you are a consultant or a business owner, or if you develop a car or a gadget of some sort, investing in reputation and brand that is way beyond just functionality, that is the way to go. Because people come to you. You don't have to go to them. People come to you. In a party, people will crowd around you. People already want what you have to offer. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to tell them more about yourself. And investing in your brand, and there's of course a variety of ways to do that, is the way to go. So if you want more people to buy your product or service, here are the 5 things that you need to fix. And also these are the 5 reasons why people are not buying your products and services. Is you're confusing people, so be engaging. You come across as self-focused, so be interested in people and transform the way you communicate to your audience. You don't contribute to the conversation, that's how you come across. So contribute to the conversation, educate them, enlighten them. Offer a map to the promised land. Help them the step-by-step process of of receiving completely irresistible value from what you do. And then the best one, the top of the heap, is earn a reputation, become a brand, and invest in that. I hope this has helped. Please, if you love this, please let us grow the channel together. Subscribe, share it with friends, spread the word. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching Headspace.